Let me see, I'm just trying to read my script here. NFT art infringement is rampant. How can we help? And this is Jenna Karadbil.
You did great on the name. Thank you. Can I just have a show of hands? How many people are lawyers in here? Ah, lots of lawyers. Okay. And how many people are creators, collectors, owners of projects? Okay, so we have a mixed audience. I like to know who I'm talking to. So for all you lawyers in here, that's my disclaimer slide. We're going to go past that. So I only have a few minutes to talk. And so really I wanted to set the stage on some types of infringement that we've been seeing and where they sort of fit into the law. Unlike the last panel, IP law kind of fits with this. We don't really need that many changes. I think we need some changes in the generative AI direction. But in terms of just regular art, music, we have laws that protect these things. So we're typically seeing copyright infringement type things. And there's a couple of ways that we see this. So we have the scam collections, right? Everybody knows when you launch a collection, you go and you search on OpenSea, and there's like a million fake ones up there. They spelled something wrong, they've put an extra little underscore, and those are fake collections. They're trying to pretend that they are the real collection. And they're taking, obviously, the art from that, therefore copying is copyright infringement. We also have the ones that go out there, and they go to places like, I don't know if you guys represent artists that are not in this space, but places like DeviantArt or comic book artists. There's a lot of places where they put their art, and there are now bots that will go grab this art and make a collection. And so it happens very quickly. They sell as much as they can until it gets taken down, and they do it again and again and again. And so that is, nobody knows that there's an actual artist that did this, but they see this collection and they think that's the art and that collection is real. And that happens a lot as well. It happens a lot also intentionally. There are some well-known projects that have used art from the internet, from solo artists that people didn't think they would be able to find. All these types of things are in the copyright infringement. And so anytime you make a copy, that is a copyright infringement, right? And so we can talk a little bit about defenses to that, but we're here to talk about infringements mostly. The other part is trademark, and we don't talk about that as often. So trademark is an indicator of source for those people in the room that don't know that. So I have a Nike swoosh on my sneaker. Where does it come from? You know it comes from Nike. So people are starting to use brands on the internet to confuse people, to think, oh, this is an official Gucci licensed collection, or it is a Gucci collection. And so that is a trademark side. It goes hand in hand with some of the copyright infringement, but it's still an infringement. Then we have what's called false association, which is I'm saying that I'm sponsored by, or I'm licensed by, or anything like that to try and get the reputation of that brand. And that's also a part of trademark infringement. And so we have these different types of infringement. Current legal solutions are really hard for artists. You have to find every single piece of art out there, or every collection out there that is doing this. And it is not an effective solution. The law works for it, but it's hard. I mean, unless you're a big collection and you have lots of money and you have lots of interns running around all over the world, you're never going to find all of these. So the current legal solutions are, we write a cease and desist letter. That's our Web 2 solution. Well, who do I send it to? Do I have an address to go to? Do I have a person? Do I have a Twitter handle? How do I even know who to send it to? So that's really hard. And yes, we can sort of figure these things out, but it takes time and money and the expense of lawyers. Again, this is really hard for artists. We have takedown requests. I see these all the time. These are just for copyright. And again, I'm talking in the US, but in the US, we have the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So if you're a platform like OpenSea or any other platform out there, and you are facilitating and hosting these types of transactions with the NFTs, you can send a notice that has to follow the little things in the law and say that you own the copyright and ask for it to be taken down. it gets taken down, then it goes to the other side, and if they have a valid argument or something that follows within the law, it can go back up. So these things, again, it takes it down, but what does that mean? It just means it can't be sold on OpenSea. The NFT is still there, the project is still there. It's not taken down, it's just delisted. And that doesn't happen for places like LooksRare, which is decentralized. There is no takedown. It's going to stay there. And so is that really effective? And add IPFS to it. So now we have a decentralized file. So now how do I even get the content down? You know, it's one thing if the NFT project that is hosting it somewhere that we can identify and we can take it down. But if it's on the IPFS, now it's distributed everywhere. I can't actually get it taken down. So is that an effective solution? I don't think so. Lastly is the most expensive one. And for the non-lawyers in the room, ADR means alternative dispute resolution. And you would be familiar with that if you've ever done anything with OpenSea and read their terms of service, which requires arbitration, not litigation. So you can't go to court with them in most cases. You have to use what's called ADR. That's really hard too because, again, how are we suing? Typically, we go after where the defendant, where the infringer is located. But how do I know where they're located? Again, that takes a lot of money. You've got to figure it out. You've got to do a lot of homework. And then us lawyers, you know, we don't really know this space that well, right? This is new for everybody. Nobody is an expert in this. We don't have a lot of court decisions telling us what to do. So even lawyers act weird in this space. And a good example is we had a law firm last week that served a notice. So when you get sued, you have to serve the other side, right? You have to give them the legal notice. Well, they airdropped an NFT to a wallet. How many of you open or touch airdropped NFTs that you don't know in your wallet? They not only did that, they put a hyperlink in it. How many of you click on unknown hyperlinks that are airdropped to your wallet? Not an effective solution. So, you know, we have these solutions here, but they're not working. I think I want to take it back, and I'm going to date myself because I was through this era of 1995, and I apologize for all the people in this room that don't know what this is. But if anybody read the AZ16 report last week, we have about 10 to 50 million users in ETH, even less that in NFTs. That is like 1995 internet times here. If anybody was on the internet then, I know I actually bought something on the internet. Barely graphics, I put in my credit card, it didn't show up. Guess what? I called my credit card company. They laughed at me. You bought it on the internet. You can't expect to trust the internet. Too bad, your money's gone. So what I do, I try to go to the Attorney General because, you know, I'm a lawyer in training. They laughed at me. What are you talking about? You can't trust people on the internet. That was 1995 when we had, you know, almost 50 million internet users. And nobody cared. Nobody did anything about it. Fast forward 10 years, 2005, which most of you probably in this room were then around for that, we had newer solutions. Most of them were technology-based or industry-based. We have industry self-regulating. We have credit card companies saying, we'll refund you that money. We have technology solutions now, fast forward today, where I get to control my own credit card information. It doesn't go anywhere. The authentication comes through me, so it's not stored on other servers. And that's where I'm leading is we need technology and industry to pick up the slack. We have these laws, but it's really hard to enforce them. There are much better ways to go about these things. You know, in terms of authentication, we've got SBTs coming out. We've got ERC 998, which for those of you that aren't aware is like, lack of my technical terms, is a parent NFT that holds child NFTs in it. So you can put an authentication NFT along with the art NFT. So we have solutions coming out, but I would challenge all of you out here that are in this space to really move forward and see if we can come up with things that will then help us lawyers way back in the end effectively enforce these laws. So thank you.
Thanks, Jenna. That was beautiful. Really appreciate it.